We're going to spend a few minutes talking about how to navigate the interview tool and the rating tool when it comes to OS11, involvement in psychiatric hospitalization decisions. When you're interviewing the team leader about this item, you will notice that in the non-interview sources, the table that the team filled out and lives in the team survey populates over here. This is for reference so that you can review what was submitted and take some notes on follow-up questions you might have when you're not certain whether credit was achieved or not. Sometimes the team writes enough, and just reviewing the information allows you to make that judgment. So the lead evaluator and co-evaluator will be making notes here based on what you're seeing provided in this table. When it comes to making the ratings themselves, it is the lead evaluator who is only able to interact with the table directly to submit the information needed for eTMACT to generate a rating option. So before we do that, let's back up and just look at the rating tool. Here, eTMACT is waiting for the information it needs to calculate a percent. And then once it creates that percent, there will just be one follow-up question for the evaluators to answer, which is, are the examples of involvement exclusive to one type of involvement? If yes, this would result in a decrease of one rating anchor. So for instance, if the only thing that gets credit for involvement in a mission is that the team is constantly notified after the fact within 24 hours, that might lead to a reduction in this rating. So you'd be saying yes or no. Let's just say no for the sake of this team. But at this point, there's no data being generated here. Where this information comes from is back here. So when you're in the interview tool, the lead evaluator would have the ability to go to team survey, hit edit, go to hospitalizations, and now you can see where they're able to insert their judgment of whether the team met criteria for admission involvement or not. So as you can see here, judgments have been made, and at the last one, client presented to the ER expressing suicidal ideation in a plan, admitted, team notified, assisted with discharge planning. This is one I would want more information about, but in the interview, I felt like enough was provided to give credit here and here. So, and notice that when somebody is still admitted, they have not yet been discharged, you won't have an option to click any of the radio dials. So let's save and exit, go back to our rating tool. And now eTMACT has some data. It can create the percent and offer the rating. At the point that the team is having their consensus meeting, if they find that, say, the co-evaluator made an argument that at least one or two of the events that the lead evaluator had credited should not receive credit, and consensus was that they were going to reduce credit, the lead evaluator needs to be the one who goes back into the team survey and make those updates. Otherwise, eTMACT will not be able to pull in this information accurately. And the consequence is that when this information populates over into the final report, it will not be accurate. So for the very few items where the information is being pulled from the team survey, it is the lead evaluator that will need to go back through and make those adjustments to the ratings or the information submitted.